You know, YouTube is for the unscripted, right? For the ones that can just talk unscripted. Here's what the elite do. They watch us. Speaking for me personally, I give them at least an episode every day of this reality underground TV series. Like, nobody gives credit to us for just speaking, you know, off the top of our head, or just straight to the top of our head without having to read anybody else's information. I'll admit that I would have shorter videos if I wrote stuff down and get straight to the point. But then again, I would be spending too much time writing stuff down. And then, so that's why I just push record. And if I forget something, I'll just push record again. I mean, I'll just keep pushing record. Eventually, well, no, I don't think I'll ever get all my thoughts out of my head. I want to. Like, I want to get everything that flows straight from God, straight into my pineal gland, and just exudes through my body. I want to speak it out of my mouth. I don't want to hold anything back. That's probably why I talk forever. Non-stop. It ain't that I can't help it. I'm doing this to help others. But if you think about what the elite do, like, there's just, you know, when you have the reality of the Truman Show, just them showing you, giving you a glimpse of what it's about back in 1998. So yeah, I was being watched from the time that I can remember, thinking as I'm walking outside, probably right around 7 years old. I mean, I remember being 5 years old because I was in Florida. I was born in Florida until I was 5, and then came to Philly from 6, 7, 8, 9, and then moved back to Florida for one more year when I was 10, and then came back again. It's just the way it was. And then and then was raised in Philly most of my life. And then when I was old enough to get out of the slums of Kensington, and I would move up towards the northeast of Philly, and then eventually right on the outskirts of Philly in Bucks County, and then just slowly move away from Philly, but still be there because it's my hometown. It's just, I know everybody there. I mean, I don't know everybody, but the people I grew up with are there. Not that I really hang out with any of them, except for one, which is one of my best friends. And he happens to be a cop. And it's funny because I was always the criminal, and it's weird how you grow up and you're the criminal, and then your friend, you know, you all did stuff together, and then, you know, drinking and smoking and whatever, and then my best friend, who's a cop, back in 2008, when the economy was going down, just like it is now, but this is for good. Back in 2008, you know, this is why I know God takes care of me no matter what. And I stopped stressing about work. Like, am I going to find work? Because I used to do that, but every time it's like somebody would just call me. Somebody call, hey Robin, can you do this? Hey, I got to finish basement for you. And then it always got me through. So 2008 was a real slow year. But my best friend called me, and he had his house to redo. There's floors in the throughout the upstairs and the first floor. Baseboard, all the trim, and then he wanted me to build him a bar downstairs. I have a lot of pictures of it on my computer. But by doing that, okay, from my best friend, who was a cop, who his wife knew my wife at the time, I mean, and so she was tired of her getting screwed over by these guys, and she's like, you know what, I'm sick of it. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a good man, is what she told her. And so I started redoing the basement, and then she came over, my wife came over, I mean, not at the time. I mean, it's just for some reason, I don't know. I guess it's just a protocol. But so I seen her, and then, but I was just more focused on getting my work done, because I was single. I got out of jail. I was 2 years out of jail by myself, purposely. I didn't want to be with I didn't just want to be with anybody, because, you know, there's skanks out there that'll throw themselves at you, but I wasn't interested in any of it. And I literally prayed to God for a virtuous wife. I did. And well, then 6 months later, that's when I met her. After that prayer, I can remember, because I remember where I was living. I remember the prayer, and then I remember seeing her. And so, needless to say, I wouldn't have been with her if I didn't feel like I would marry her. So the first 2 years that I was with her, she wasn't ready to get married, but I was. And you know, she was very damaged from the previous boyfriend for 7 years that she was with him. Damaged. You know, one of the worst spirits that a woman can be with another man, and tolerate it and deal with it and suffer through it and be freaking stalked and just abused. That's what happened. So when I came along, I was fresh from being cleansed by the water. And it's a shame the entire earth isn't covered with that water, but they will be. You guys will be soon. You'll get cleansed, because a lot of people are dirty. But, and then that's when in 2011, that's when the beginning of the awakening process. I showed that picture of January 2nd, 2011. And I just asked her to marry me, and I didn't have a ring. I didn't have anything. It wasn't even, that's the thing about me and my wife. We are as simplistic as possible. I asked her to marry me. Did I have a big old engagement ring as a show? No. I had nothing. I just asked right then and there because I felt like it. And then 1 month later, we decided to go to the Virgin Islands and get married on the beach for the weekend, Valentine's weekend, and then come back home. Just that simple. It was the most beautiful, easiest thing to do, which is go down, and it rained every day except for the morning that we got up and we met the pastor on the woman that set it up and the guy that married us. Met him on the beach. It was a beautiful day. Got married. I even had the lady that set it up, asked her to take some pictures. I didn't even we didn't hire people. We didn't put on a show. It wasn't about, hey, look at me, I'm getting married. It's just something I felt like we needed to do this for God. And on top of that, number one, and then for each other. Because I wasn't comfortable living in fornication. Just wasn't. And it's not the only reason why I married my wife, but it's one of them for sure. But if I would have seen something different in her, I seen a damaged spirit, and I just felt like because I was already cleansed, and I was from 2006, and when I met her in the beginning of 2009, I met her April 5th, 2009. It's the first time I talked to her on the phone. And yeah, I remember dates. I remember dates all the time. And so I met her a week later because the funny thing is, her best friend, which is my best friend's wife, and they still are. We just seen them about two weeks ago. We stopped by their house. I did work on his new house. I just tell him, just keep buying houses. I'll redo every one of your houses that you have. But so when I was talking to her on the phone, and I don't have a problem talking about my life, because my life is an open book, and the elite, well, they enjoy listening to real people talk because they're tired of the Hollywood scripted fakery. That's why we're more entertaining than Hollywood actors. The ones that can talk straight from the top of their head without scripts, yeah, they appreciate you. Trust me. So, but see, she had a Mustang, right? And my best friend's wife told me, she's like, yeah, she has a Mustang like yours. I'm like, huh, really? Yeah, but it's probably a 6-cylinder, because she's like, I don't know, it sounds pretty loud. Like, I'm like, what do you mean loud? Like an exhaust leak? She's like, no, I don't know. And then she found out that it was an 8-cylinder. Now, look, it's no big deal, I guess, but to me, it's like, I had the '99 Mustang, the orange one, because I just freshly painted it a couple months before that and got it out of the shop, because I had it in there for about 9 months. When I got out of jail, I was working on it every day. I did the work myself because the guy didn't have enough time. He was going to do it, but I wasn't going to do it, but he couldn't get to it, so I just started sanding a little here and doing a little this and poking here to try to find out how to do this and that, and then I learned how to paint my own damn car. And it was fun too. It was a good time back then. So I had that Mustang, and she had a 2002 Mustang, and I found out that it was an 8-cylinder. I'm like, that is freaking awesome, man. A woman with the 8-cylinder, because most of the time it's like, you know, they'll drive a 6-cylinder Mustang, but nah, my wife was driving an 8-cylinder. And so that's why I called her. I mean, that was the, well, along with seeing what she looks like, it also helped. And then talking to her on the phone, her sweet, calm voice, and I was used to my kid's mom's voice, which was, I mean, my God, it just, it's like every demon on YouTube all together, just, so I had to, you know, I forgive her, I do, and I love her as a human being, but I had to step away. I mean, I had to, you know, jail was like a clean cut for me. I was free, like, whew, thank God I'm in jail. And that's literally what I was thinking. After I turned to God, after the first week in jail, I started drawing to my son pictures, cars, whatever I could to get my mind off of being locked up and being ripped away from everything. So if someone like SJD thinks they can put fear in my heart about being ripped away from my family, I've already been there. Already been there. This time around, it'll be for a different reason, and it'll only be temporary if that does happen. Just to put you guys in check so you can understand who's really in charge. The apocalypse, it's happening. The changing of the powers is happening as we speak. And you got the weak-tongued are speaking, and they should just shut their mouth, but they won't. So it's one of them things where, yeah, my kid's mom, I know she cheated on me. I cheated on her. One time I cheated, but I wasn't married, and I didn't even want to be with her anymore. She kind of got pregnant after I kicked her out of the house, and I didn't want anything to do with her. So, you know, hey, that is what it is there. How it's just like pretty ironic, but you know what? I got my son out of the deal, and I fought for him. I fought. When I got out of jail, when he was 7 years old, I fought for custody to get him away from that environment. And he's been with me since he was, no, I'm sorry, when he was 4 years old. That's when I got out of jail, because I was in there for a year and a half, when he was 2.5 years old to 4. When he was 7 years old is when I got custody, because I fought for those 3 years back and forth, and I finally had to get a damn restraining order against my kid's mom to protect us from the harassment. Just the harassment alone. Very similar to like what should happen to YouTube people. They should, when they're harassing people and they're lying and they know they're lying, the same thing needs to happen. So what man gets full custody of his child and gets a restraining order against the kid's mom for 3 years to protect him and his child from the woman, from the Jezebel spirit? How's that possible? Well, when you have God working through you, anything's possible. So I thank God for that, you know. I thank God for having my best friend in my life, for my ability to work with my hands and create and build and build a reputation at the same time, and never failing, even having some SJD guy. I had a SJD who was the maintenance manager at that job that was already there, but our company bought over the property, but he was already the maintenance manager for a few years beforehand, and he knew it all. And his name was David, by the way. It's so ironic. And he was the biggest, oh man, not only was he literally the biggest, but he was one of the biggest lecturers, narcissistic. I mean, I didn't even know it at the time what that word meant, but I understand it now. And man, it's literally was like having SJD right there. What's that? You don't want to worship me? You don't want to do my work for me? Hey, Rollo, get over here. Go poke a hole in apartment A47 there. Yeah, make sure you go up the top one so it leaks down at the bottom and disrupts the tenants downstairs. Go do it now. So anyway, the guy got fired after I proved that he was lying his ass off. Just like I'm proving with SJ Deception. Some Jesus deceiver. I mean, SJD, some Jesus deceiver. And so back to and then, you know, then we did get rings afterwards, but she doesn't have this big thing on her finger to show around to people that she was engaged or whatever. It's not about showing other people. It's about committing to God. Period. I could have given her I could have just taken a freaking lid, right, and cut it around there and asked her to and give her to her that way. But see, when I talk, nothing from the outside can dictate what I want to say, what I should say, what I shouldn't say. God's the one that dictates my words that comes out of my mouth. Because I already understand I'm at the point now where, I mean, I'm damn freaking famous. I mean, I got all kinds of people making videos about me. It's crazy. They could use my name in the videos to get views. I mean, that kind of tells me I'm not. It's like, wait a minute, what the heck? Why are people using my name now all of a sudden? I mean, I remember people I even used RFB's name a couple times to get some views. I understand, but man, that's crazy. Now people are using my name? I mean, who am I? I'm a false prophet. I'm a liar. I just want to give clips. I want to give clips. So it's like, oh man, the way Satan works and just tricks people is so funny. So, I mean, the more I talk, the more my words get out there. And if people want to take my clips and try to, I don't know, do whatever, hey, look, you can use all of my clips. You can even use the videos that I deleted. And you can look back in the video. I never made no, I'm sorry, I did. In the beginning, I used to make some videos, and I'm deleting that one because I was looking to get views. I was literally looking to get views in the beginning, and I was just starting out. And some videos like, it doesn't seem right. But then, am I here already? No. But yeah, those other videos, I was gonna keep my video list to under 200 videos, or maybe about 150, and then I'm like, forget it. It's too much. Plus, I can go back as references for anything that I say. I can just go back. So here's why the elite truly do enjoy. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. Is that? They truly do enjoy watching us more than, because look, you have what the Hollywood actors, they like, you know, they have their buddies that they like to watch because they go home and they'll watch them on TV. Like, yeah, man, I seen your show today. I seen your episode. It's pretty funny. And so it's the same thing with us. I have mainly two people that I really thoroughly enjoy watching their videos. And it's two of my neighbors from the same church of Philadelphia, Barb and Justin. And that I know of in my heart for a fact. Now, there's other people that I'll still watch videos here and there. But when I don't get a feeling from the beginning about certain people, and then time goes by and I still continue to not get a certain feeling towards them, towards those two specific individuals, then that's what I stick with. I stick with my gut feeling. And then other people are informational. I mean, but I know that when the elite turn on our channels, it's a fresh episode. Well, again, I'll speak for me specifically. I give them a fresh episode on a daily basis, and I did it all of last year. Every single day. Every single day for 365 days. There was a video up every single day. I was thinking about taking a break, but then I remember, I think SJD started, that's what it is. He started to antagonize me and started lying about me. I'm like, what's this clown doing? And then from that point on, it's just, if you come at me that way, I'm just going to bury you. And all I gotta do is just talk. It's so funny. All you gotta do is just talk and bury it. So they just get tired of watching people that are reading scripts. So do I. I mean, when someone is handed information and they're told to read this, yeah, it's kind of dreary. Like when I watch Richie from Boston, yeah, I can just hear, even when he's just talking, I can hear that he's reading a script that was handed to him, not something that he jotted down, not his own notes, not you know. I even like Wes Truther's channel because he writes down. I mean, it looks like it does. It looks like he's definitely reading, but he's not trying to hide that he's reading. He's not trying to act like he's not reading. It's the only person that I know of that has the notes and reads, but is not trying to hide that they're reading. It's not the only person, though, but I think that's his thing. Is a lot of people have to write their stuff down so they can be more efficient in their videos. That's why That's why people got to fast forward through my video. You know, put it on just kind of skim past it faster. Because if you have to watch my video, then you still have to listen to my words. But you can move it faster if you want. No, wait a minute. Yeah, so I'm just getting distracted left and right. So yeah, whatever. That's what it is. My view is that the elite enjoy watching our videos because we're real people and they know who we are, and they find it hilarious that these goofs that they hire, that they just, here, let me park it up here for a second. These goofs that they hire, they try to come against us and they see how they just get demolished with the truth, and they'll keep sending people. There will never be smooth sailing like when you do videos. There will never be not like one person trying to come against you. And right now it's Pinky in the Brain. Pinky and the Brain are trying to, they're just trying to do everything they can. Now, yesterday, does anybody know why SJD wasn't around for exactly 10 days? I mean, I know why he showed up and started to read his script with his hat like this and his brim above his eyes. I mean, who the frick talks like this when they're talking? Can you imagine if I'm trying to talk to you like this? I mean, don't I look shady as hell? Don't I look like I'm trying to hide something? And then when your face is looking down, Steve, and your tip of your nose and your two cheeks are illuminated, it means you're freaking reading a script, clown. You're sitting there rambling off with your hand movements like you. Here's what you do. You do this abracadabra as you're talking, like, yeah, there's two Davids and one of them is Bendejo and the other one is Cabron and one of them is the dark David, damn it, and the other one's the light David. One's gonna come in his own name, which is like, well, it was exactly what I'm doing, and the other one is gonna come in his father's name. And it's like, wait a minute. Am I the other David? I mean, I don't know much about David, but because again, I admit, I don't know much about the Bible. I haven't read the whole thing. There's certain people, I don't even know who they are. I just know what God tells me, what he leads me to, what direction, what passage, and when I read it, I understand it. That's pretty important to me. So I'm like, and you're talking about how the other David writes and it does calculations at numbers, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of what I do too. Yeah, there's a dark David, and there's one that's going to come in his own name, one that's coming in the Father's name. I mean, yeah, I understand it's a spirit. You're going to have a fake spirited David, and you're going to have a real spirited David. I claim to have the real spirit, just the real spirit from God, and I know you got the fake spirit, man. You are. I literally felt a little bit sorry for you yesterday, Steve. Because I think the elite are messing with you. I think they told you something that they are not going to fulfill, man. They put you in place to see, kind of like the little brother that's kind of like slow learning, like, yeah, sure, go ahead, you can play, yeah, you're cool, yeah. And when it's time can I go out with you guys? Like, no, man, you stay here and be cool. So that's kind of how I look at you, Steve. But what was your reason for not showing up? I mean, I know what it was. I interrupted your plans of Prince Michael coming to help you. But what was your